Road to Success is brought to you by Equity Bank.
Equity Bank. You are listening, caring partner.
You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. This week we focus on small and medium-sized enterprises, their challenges and how to overcome them. You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. My guest is Antonia Kihara. She's the proprietor of Enye Heri. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
It's a really interesting name, Enye Heri. I mean, is it Swahili, French, Spanish? What is it and what does it mean?
It's Swahili, and it means possessing great advantage or blessing. So Enye Heri is like those blessed people, and Enye Heri is like the blessed company. And it applies for us as a company as well, but also I think that's what a brand gives you. A strong brand does give you lots of advantage.
So the business is about what?
Creating brands.
When you say creating brands, you know, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, get your card, Enye Heri, creating brands. What does that mean? What do you exactly do?
Well, we help people stand out and differentiate from their competition. We give people unique ideas that, again, differentiate them from their competition. We give them a strong brand image. And so branding and a plan, you know, just a sort of a plan, and it's like an internal and an external thing. And I think it's, for SMEs, it's not really an important thing. They're so sort of business focused, like this is my business, this is what I do. Whereas a lot of corporates obviously spend a lot of time thinking about their brand, and that's why they're successful as well. So when we create a brand is basically a perception in the consumer's mind. It's a gut feeling that the consumer has about you or whatever. So we work backwards and sort of think about what the target market wants and then how we can present that.
So tell me about the business. Whose idea was it? I mean, was it like you woke up one morning and thought, this is what I want to get into?
Yeah.
And how did you even come up with the name? Because, I mean, that definitely...
I wanted it to be a name that you'd struggle to say and then never forget, because you'd be like, Enye Heri, Enye Heri? Or, you know, you might spend some time thinking about it. Yeah, so I wanted it to be memorable and raise some curiosity. And I wanted it to be Kenyan, so I was looking for a Swahili name as well.
So tell me about the business. I mean, in terms of coming up with the idea for the business, when was it born and what were you thinking?
It was in September 2008. And I'd been working with a lot of corporates before that in communication and came across quite a lot of Kenyan companies, medium-sized companies, that would be looking to do marketing campaigns and things like that and weren't really clear about their brand. And I was sort of like, how can you do that? It was so common that I thought, you know, this is definitely... And I also really enjoy creation from the beginning, much more than marketing. So how I started, it was just, I knew I was going to start, you know, by hook or by crook. But then a couple of people paid me and I was able to just set up an office. But that was it. It was like me and the desk and the phone. And I was just, you know, I didn't have a very, being an SME myself, I mean, you know, you have your, you know, vague target market, but, you know, it's just SME. So I went through the yellow pages a lot. I still get a lot of referrals from people and people will say, I know this company and I know that company. But I find that people who want it take it more seriously than a friend has made somebody else do it. You know, I really think you need a brand or whatever it is. So the whole process of calling people I call sowing seeds.
So tell me about the process of, you know, engagement. When you get a client from the yellow pages, what is the process of engagement and what are the products that Enye Heri offers?
It's just two products. There's the workshop and the fulfillment, basically. The process is usually people are really interested and then there's several meetings to understand it some more and understand it some more. So in the beginning, I really spent lots of time just talking and meeting. People really want explanations for why do I need this? There's also a lot of people who have heard that it's a good thing. I need a brand, you know. But really what they mean is I just want to do some marketing. So now, I started in 2008. I'm a bit more discerning about, actually, you know, I can sort of, just from hearing how the conversation's going, discern whether people are actually really interested in branding. Because there are a lot of people who are not.
So the two products that Enye Heri offers, the workshop and fulfillment.
Yeah.
Describe that for me.
The workshop is a full day workshop. I mean, it's not really a workshop actually. It's like a brainstorm, and I have it in a really nice place in Karen where there's sofas and stuff like that. So it's, you know, kick off your shoes, sit back, and let's really take time to think about your business. No more than 6 people ever, because there's a lot of talking and decision making, and it's kind of, you know, the more people we have, then it should be a 3-day workshop sort of thing. So the fulfillment is basically, we look at all the communication material that you need, and we start to create it. Sometimes we're not, you know, we're rebranding, but we have a brand that we feel that we don't want to lose, you know, whatever that brand has already gained so far. Sometimes, so it's more like just modifying. But where we really make the changes are in copy and sort of like how we sell the company. So we do a lot. We write everything for you from scratch. Sometimes as far as sort of like just making sure the tone is across even presentation materials that, you know, we have nothing to do with, but just making sure that the brand is represented there. And then also in the workshop we come up with a lot of ideas, new ideas completely.
How long ideally is the process between the workshop and fulfillment, in terms of if I came to you as a client and I'm needing to understand my business and, you know, come up with the brand that I think it is, and then actually see it out there. If I, you know, how long would the process take?
We'll give you all the material in 3 months, 3 to 7 months, depending on the job. Some jobs are bigger, yeah? A lot of it depends. I mean, we're not in control of the client's implementation. So, you know, saying you'll see it out there really depends on the client doing the stuff that they need to do.
We need to take a short break now. When we return, we'll hear more about Enye Heri. Don't go away.
Sema turudi mashambani, turudi mashambani, kilimo cha nafaka chatungojea, turudi mashambani, uvuvi wa samaki watungojea, turudi mashambani, mifugo ni muhimu kwa maziwa na nyama, turudi mashambani, kahawa na chai ni fahari yetu.
Visit an Equity Bank branch near you to learn about our Kilimo, Uvuvi and Mifugo Biashara products. Equity Bank supports agribusiness for food security. Equity Bank, your listening, caring partner.
Welcome back. You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. My guest is Antonia Kihara, the proprietor of Enye Heri. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Before we went on the break, you were sharing with us the story of Enye Heri, possessing great advantage or a blessing.
Yeah.
So people come to you and then they possess great advantage or a blessing.
Yes.
In their
If
businesses. In the businesses,
Yes.
working with
Yeah.
SMEs to really bring out their brands.
Yeah.
Why did you pick SMEs and not larger companies or, you know?
Because larger companies are organized, they have a brand, they should probably have a brand manual in the back. I mean, you know, it's with already established companies, they're pretty clear about who they are and where they're going. So they don't need, unless they were rebranding, I'm not saying I wouldn't work with them, but if they were rebranding, but they're already pretty branded, you know. SMEs are not. SMEs are not at all. So that's it was just such an obvious gap.
I like, you know, your go-getter approach in terms of just the way that you introduce yourself to the market.
Right.
Went to the yellow pages and just basically
Yeah.
started dialing the numbers.
Yeah.
When you look at Enye Heri today, it's 2 years later.
Right.
Can you say that most of your clients are still, you know, do you still have to seek and find most of your clients, or
No.
how do they find you?
It's very much referrals, and people just finding me from the media or through somebody who's just picked up my name and hasn't forgotten.
What is the structure of your company in terms of, you know, today, Enye Heri? Are you the one that does everything?
Pretty much, and so I can only really deal with 4 or 5 clients at a time. because otherwise it gets confusing. I do work with freelancers when things get too much, but I have an interior designer in my team, a graphic designer, client service, and traffic manager.
What are some of the challenges that you faced?
I think the biggest challenge is people appreciating, the branding process. It takes a lot of patience, and I think people sort of get into it and actually wanted something else. They actually just want a marketing communications agency, really. So that's been a challenge, sort of getting into agreement with someone and then realizing they want different things. The other challenge is Kenyans are quite conservative, so everyone will come in and say, oh, I want to be different, I want to be out of the box, and I want to stand out, and all of this. But then, they'll give you ideas of things happening around the world, and that are really quite unique, and blah blah blah. And then they start backtracking, and then even goes as far as saying, I want to be like so and so. There's commitment as well that is a challenge. Clients' commitment to the process. I think they'd like it to be quicker, and it's not. It's not.
What does it take to be in your business?
I think creativity, really. Being able to think out of the box. I think also being able to think as an entrepreneur. Being an entrepreneur myself, I can really sort of put myself in clients' shoes. And I find there are a lot of sort of creative people out there who are maybe not entrepreneurs. So their suggestions are sort of like, okay, but do you know what it's really like when you're sort of, your operational costs and you're this and you're, managing all these, that is, is that really going to fly? So I really try and get into people's businesses. I think you have to just have a passion and commitment for the business, because it's not as simple as just sort of design where there are challenges, but they're not the same. You're dealing with a lot of different challenges. You have to find solutions to so many things, and then you have to make them practical. That that the client is able to implement them. And I really want to avoid the structure of sort of saying, well, okay, these are my parameters. If there's something that I can actually do on behalf of my client to get things going, I will.
5 years from now, 10 years from now, what's your vision for Enye Heri?
For Enye Heri, I really want, it's, at the heart of our brand is really embracing the entrepreneurial spirit. So I would like to hire entrepreneurs, and I would like to give them a chance to work for themselves. So the thing that I'm really looking at implementing now is just sort of like how people have bonuses in their jobs. So with my staff, for all targets met, the first bonus is a makeover, because I think image is everything. So you can't be like living in an environment that doesn't inspire you and then come to work and try to be inspired. So that's the first bonus. I also want to have an online forum for advice for SMEs, because like I'm saying, even with the brand, I find, okay, they have financial issues, they have legal issues, HR issues. But, with SMEs, it's really difficult to afford these consultants. So I'd like to have a forum where just, quite simply online, perhaps people pay 1,000 bob to ask 5 questions a month. And I would really like to empower SMEs that way, because then it'll make it easier for branding to work.
Antonia, thank you so much for coming to share your story with us. I love the energy, and you're a great inspiration.
Thank you very much for having me.
In Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. Have a great week, and God bless.
Road to Success is brought to you by Equity Bank.
Equity Bank, your listening caring partner.